Welcome to the Enlightenment Evolution Hour. I am your host, Gauthier the ET Whisperer. The Enlightenment Evolution Hour is a part of the Enlightenment Evolution Network. Any ideas expressed by the guest, myself, or commenters may not necessarily reflect the same opinions of the Enlightenment Evolution Network. Enlightenment defined. It is the state of giving or receiving greater knowledge and understanding about a certain subject or situation. Evolution defined. The gradual development of something, especially from a simple to more complex form. So what is Enlightenment Evolution? The state of giving and receiving greater knowledge as we develop from a simple to more complex human being living on Earth for our soul's experience. Welcome now and join us as we explore our Enlightenment Evolution Hour together. The Enlightenment Evolution Hour is simulcast live every Wednesday at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific from the Enlightenment Evolution Hour page, Matrix Minds Facebook page, and the ET Whisperer YouTube channel. It is also redistributed from the Forbidden Knowledge News Network and Conscious Awakening Network. Hey everybody, welcome to the Enlightenment Evolution Hour. I am your host, Gauthier, and welcome to the Open Forum Q&A. We haven't done this for a while, guys, so I'm very, very excited. I'm going to ask all of you who are here from the Matrix Minds, or from the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, and from the ET Whisperer YouTube, to please hold your questions. We do not get to those in a little bit we will, but because we're taking them from the live chat, we are actually going to end up taking them one at a time. And Kalina has to be able to go through all of those and read them and organize them as she's asking them. So we'll ask everybody we're going to ask everyone to start off with one question each. And if Kalina says, hey, we need more questions, then feel free to do a second or third or 10th. Whatever it is that you got, but everyone starts off with one question each. And if Kalina sees new people popping in and says, oh, wow, there's a new question, then she'll put those ahead of people who've had repeats, etc. She is a pro at this. She's done this for a decade plus. So she knows how to do that. So just keep them coming. And when Kalina lets you know if there's secondary questions that are needed, she'll let you guys know. But I want to say hello to all the people who are coming here live with us tonight. Some of you have not come to the Enlightenment Evolution Hour before. A lot of you who are here are regulars, so we appreciate you coming. But if you haven't been to the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, we do this every Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. Welcome to the show. Hello, everybody. We see all of you guys here on Facebook. We see all of you here on YouTube. We see all of you guys in general. So thank you so much for all of your excitement and all of your energy. Yeah, Kalina's going to be in the chat tonight. She's going to be running the chat. So anything that pops up is going to be from her, and she's going to be sharing some stuff. We have to start off with announcements. I know it's not everybody's favorite, but it is part of the show. And it is part of the experience of the Enlightenment Evolution Hour. First of all, we will do the show news. Tonight, we were supposed to have Sandrine Savignon, and she is not here today because there was a scheduling mishap. But no worries, we're going to have her back on next week. We are going to have Georgia Jean the week after that. Pardon me, I got to get my calendar. Sorry, guys. The week after that, we're going to have Jamie Price, and then we will announce other guests as they come. For those of you who don't know, Georgia Jean is one of the channelers I did the Sedona event with back in October, who's an amazing person, good channeler. And also Jamie Price, who is a super amazing light language lady and also a great channeler who has quite a big following. I met her and Lisa Royal Holt at the same time, and they're friends. They worked together before. So it was really nice to see them. We're going to have both of them on the show as well as Sandrine. Sandrine and Georgia were on the show before, but they came in the Sedona group show. So there was like 4 people, which made it a little tougher to get to know everybody. So we're going to have them on one at a time to get to know everyone. And then we're going to have Suzanne Ross on at a later time too, so you can get to meet her. As for the network announcements, all of you guys who understand and know about the Enlightenment Evolution Network know that we have more than one show. Mothership should be coming back soon. Our friend William from the Mothership, who's one of the 3 hosts there, has recovered well from his surgery. He's doing well. He's feeling well. He's experiencing the healing a lot quicker than he had with his first spine surgery back when he was 18 in 1998. So he's doing really well, and hopefully in the next month or so that show will be back on. As soon as it comes on, we will give that information to you right away. The other show that we have is Out There Talk with Valiant himself, and that is an Instagram live show. And in fact, that show will be on tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 8:59 Pacific. It's a good show. If you're on Instagram, you can go check out Instagram Live there. We also have another announcement, not necessarily network related, but because Kalina is part of the Enlightenment Evolution Network, even though she doesn't have her show on, I would highly suggest to go check out her YouTube channel. And if you have not subscribed, check it out. She's got tons of channeling videos up there now, like 8 or 9 of them, I think. So go check that out, and Kalina will be putting that in the chat in just a second. So go to that channel and subscribe and comment and like, do all the things that you guys do here for Kalina's. She's about to break a really amazing threshold with subscribers and views. And her channeling is really amazing. So if you guys like reptilian channeling or Arcturian channeling, go check out her channel because she's got both of them there. And that's not just reptilian channeling in general, that's Earth reptilian and Alpha Draconian channeling. So go check that out and you know, be a part of her channel if it resonates. Check it out. We're putting that in the chat for everyone too. Last is the ET Whisperer announcements. We have the event coming up on November 25th and 26th. That is the Saturday and Sunday after Thanksgiving. So it's still coming up. We have myself and Tyler Ellison, both of us, going to be doing a 2-day online channeling event. We're not doing it in person, so anyone from around the world can join us. It's 2 days, 4-hour days each, so that's a total of 8 hours and 2 days. And me and Tyler will both be doing something similar to what we're doing right now, taking Q&A during those hours, and also teaching and sharing about gratitude and how that helps in the spiritual journey. And it's called the Gateway of Gratitude. If you want to check that out, go to etwhisperer.com, and the very first poster you see with me and Tyler's face, click that, and then go down to the bottom of the page and hit registration. And that's going to be a 2-day event. It's $55 for both days. And if you check that out, it'll be amazing. Also, sorry. Oh yeah. So also the ET Whisperer announcements. We're going to be in Sedona again next year. Next year in March, and that Sedona event is going to be a multiple speaker event. It's going to be crazy. Daryl Anka is going to be there, Wendy Kennedy, Sean Swanson, myself, Linda Moulton Howe. What's that lady's name who did the near-death book that's really famous?
Anita Manjuri.
Yes, Anita Manjuri is going to be there. Alan Steinfeld's going to be there. A lot of amazing people are. Matt Kahn, if you're into that, he's going to be there. So a lot of great people are going to be there. And myself and Wendy and Sean Swanson are going to all be channeling together. And we're going to be channeling for a 3-way channeling called the Galactic Roundtable. And Ruben Langdon, our dear friend, is going to be there and is also going to be hosting that. And we're going to be doing breakout workshops, breakout walks around Sedona, and we're going to be doing the Q&A channeling one-on-one in the big event hall. So it's an amazing thing. 700 possible seats available. Tickets have been going pretty quickly, so if you're interested in being in Sedona with us March, where Kalina and Lily will both be there too, hanging out with us. Go check that out immediately. And then in February, we do have the Conscious Life Expo. I'll be sharing more about that as February gets a little closer. So that's it for the ET Whisperer announcements. There's one more short thing that I want to play for you guys because this is the last announcement. And I know we've already gone over a lot by announcements, but I'm also answering questions like Nadia Ward says, what did I miss about when and how to ask questions? The questions today are going to be in the chat only. And from the chat, Kalina will be asking them verbally for Aridif or Treb. So just put into the chat what your question is, but not right this second. Please hold on and wait until we tell you, hey, we're ready for questions. And then only ask one question. And I'm sure we're going to repeat this at least once or twice before I start channeling. The last announcement is that in just a few weeks, in about four weeks from today, I will be flying to Virginia to start shooting the Onironaut. We've been talking about this now for a couple of years, but it's happening. We're going to shoot the series, and I want to show you a little promo video about the Onironaut. So here you guys are. Enjoy this, and once we get back, we're going to start diving in to the Q&A open forum, guys.
You probably don't know what an Onironaut is, but it's okay. You will. Your consciousness is not trapped in your head. It's free to travel anywhere, through time or in space. You just forgot how. The dream world is real too. And, if you get good enough, you can connect with other intelligent consciousness, other dreamers, or people who have since died. The people you meet might not even be people. Just ask Rob Gauthier. Rob enters a deep trance so that alien beings may borrow his body and use his voice to share their messages with us. That's why they call him the ET Whisperer. With Rob's help, along with the extraterrestrials that work with him, we will explore the unknown reality that surrounds us all. With enough practice, even you can become an Onironaut.
All right, everybody. So hopefully you enjoyed that trailer. We will be working on that, like I said, in 30 days. So sometime early next year, we might have those videos out and available. They might be on Gaia TV. They might be on Netflix. We don't know who will purchase them, but we're going to make the show. And eventually they will be available for you guys. And when they are available for you guys, we'll let you know where and how that works. So now that announcements are over and kind of feeling into where we're at right now with this Q&A, I want to introduce our most amazing co-host that's ever existed, one of the greatest channelers in the world, and one of the sexiest ladies the sexiest lady I've ever met in my life, and one of the sexiest ladies that you guys will ever meet in your life, Kalina Angel, my sweet American happy sunshine, who's here, who happens to be the mother of little baby Lilith and a role model to many citizens across the land.
Oh, gosh.
So here we go. Kalina Angel's here with us, everybody. Welcome, baby.
Thank you. Now my cheeks are even more red than usual. Hi, everybody.
Can you tell people who may have never met you? There's a lot of new people at the ET Whisperer, and there's new people coming in all the time. And we haven't done a ton of things together lately, even though we do sporadically, because you've been working on your channeling on your free time, and there's not a lot of free time for either of us because the kids. So why don't you tell them who you are and you know what we're doing tonight?
Well, to be honest with you, I am still figuring out who I am. That's an ongoing process.
True.
And I imagine a lot of you guys can relate to that as well. Excuse me for the coughing. I have, for those of you that know of me, and you've probably, if you've gone back and listened to a lot of the stuff that Rob has done in the past, you've probably heard my voice a little younger sounding at the time, because linearly I was younger. And it was before I had Lily, a lot of it. And I've always been around to help Rob, and we've created the channel panel together and amazing things together. But I kind of was afraid to step out of the closet of my own channeling publicly, because I had this deep secret that some of you knew kind of lightly, but I finally came out of the closet last year about it, which is I'm not just an Arcturian starseed. That's how people knew me, but I'm a Draconian starseed. And that's the other reason why I didn't come out of the closet too much about it or say much about it, because it just seems like everybody's a starseed these days. and
Starseed fever.
There's a lot of stuff where, I don't want to make it sound like I'm criticizing anybody, but, I don't want to ever try to come across as like special or above anyone, because that's not it at all. And technically, if you think about it, every creature, human or not, is a starseed. We've all had other lives as other beings. And so, there's many definitions of a starseed, and mine is more of kind of a disclosure. I've spent most of my lives and experiences in other places. And then Earth Seeds, Rob and I did a video a long time, what was it, 7 or 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Earth Seeds are basically people who've been here from the very beginning, or had almost to the very beginning incarnations.
And actually, someone mentioned that. I said, I thought Kalina was an Earthseed. So why don't you tell them about that video we did, Earthseeds and Starseeds, and why?
Oh, I don't know where to find it now. I'd have to dig through your...
Well, I can find it.
Yeah.
That's fine. But Earthseeds and Starseeds, why did you do that?
Why did I do the video?
Yeah.
With you? It was originally on my radio show, which has been in hiatus forever. I am going to bring that back, by the way, soon. It just kind of depends on... I'm going to be schooling Lily. She's going to be getting schooled at home, so I'm working on that schedule. But what was the question again? Sorry.
About the Earthseeds and Starseeds?
Yeah, so years ago, when I was temporarily in Chicago on my way to Michigan, I lived in Chicago for 8 months. And that's when Rob and I started dating. And I was connecting with my Arcturian guides, and they talked about Earth Seeds. They referred to Rob as Earth Seeds. And in fact, I think in some channelings, Treb had also called you an Earth Seed, or started picking up on that. I don't know which came first, but I'm pretty sure my Arcturians, the Arcturian 103 collective, mentioned Earth Seeds. And between them and Treb explained that has to do with humans who started from the very beginning, from the evolution, including, all the, oh gosh, what's the word? I'm blanking.
The other races before?
Well, when they were with our genes, but the word escapes me right now.
Oh, yeah, like before they genetically altered.
Yeah, the genetic alterations that people were getting from various races of beings. And I haven't had a ton of human incarnations, which is funny, because when I was younger, I would have thought I was an Earthseed. I think the reason is because I'm a really ancient being. And again, this is linearly, because technically all that's moot. We're all pretty much the same age. We all come from source. We're all part of each other. At least that's how I see it. So we're all ancient beings. It's just depending on where you're pinpointing that part on the graph of all it is that you're experiencing in this game. You can experience yourself as a young soul or an old soul. So I'm young in the Earth experience, and I'm old in, like, say, with the Draconian experience. I am old, like real old. Still pretty young. With the Arcturian experiences, I would say. But anyway, that's I think you get the gist of it.
And I will say too, I did put the link to Earth Seeds and Star Seeds up. That show, because it was so amazing, was uploaded in several places, but I chose to share the Enlightenment Evolution Network YouTube channel. So when you go to open that link, and I'm going to put the link down again, even though it's up on the screen, I'm sharing the link right now. If you go to that link, I would highly, highly recommend to subscribe to that YouTube channel also, because as we start bringing the show back and the network back, we are going to start rocking and rolling with that YouTube channel, and a lot of different shows, including Kalina's show. My own show will be posted there in both long form and YouTube shorts. So I would definitely check that out if you guys haven't heard that before. But this gives you an idea of a bit of who Kalina is, the work that we've done together, things like that. I am going to get ready to neutralize, guys, because we're coming up on 20 minutes. It takes about 10 minutes to neutralize, and I want to make sure that we're able to have at least an hour's worth of Q&A, because I want all the questions we can get tonight answered. Do you want to chat with everyone while I'm neutralizing and I head out? If you need to leave for any reason too, under the brand tab, if you go to the one that says the picture that says neutralizing, that looks purple, you can click that, and that will on the brand tab to the right.
Tab. What do you mean by brand tab?
Right to the right in the middle of the screen, right there.
Oh, it literally says brand. Okay.
Right, yeah, a brand tab, and then if you
click on it.
Yeah, click on that, and then you would go to the you'd scroll down and then go to the neutralize one. Right, it's purple right there. It says neutralize, and that's the one you click if you need to leave for anything. Yeah, and then
It's actually
and then go back down to the bottom of tonight's show.
Do you want me to put it here while I'm talking to everybody?
Well, you can, but I mean it. Not right now. If you don't need to leave the mic, you don't have to. But
okay.
And then just scroll down to the bottom. Oh, not too far. Go up to the bottom, right where the one that's highlighted now. That's the one that you'd come back to when we get back. But I'll be able to help by then. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm off. I'm going to go ahead, guys, and get out of here so I can make my noise without interrupting the live stream. And Kalina's going to chat with all of you guys. So say hi to Kalina, tell her everything. And once I get back from the neutralizing, we'll start taking your questions, unless Kalina tells you to before then. Love you guys. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Love you, Mama.
Love you too, sweetie. Hey, everybody. How are you guys feeling tonight? I'm going to be clicking on some questions too. Not to show yet. I'm just gathering them. Who was it? I think it was Nadia. You met somebody said I look like Wonder Woman, which is funny because Lily was going to dress up as Wonder Woman and ended up not being able to because poor Jeremy started having seizures because it started snowing yesterday, and so the change in weather sometimes makes them have seizures. They weren't really intense, but we didn't want to push it. And she was having belly issues, so poor guys didn't get to go trick-or-treating last night. But I'll take that as a compliment. Wonder Woman, my goodness, that's quite the compliment. But I think Lily would have been a super cute Wonder Woman. So I see lots of questions coming in. This is great, guys. Thank you. And I'm sorry for the sound of my voice if I sound rough or if I'm coughing. I think Rob probably told you all in September we got the virus that shall not be named. And my lungs are still recovering, so I have the cough, so it'll take a little while, I guess, to heal from that. So nice questions. I'm seeing questions about hybrid children. I'm going to start collecting these, and I might be silent here and there because I just want to make sure that I get everyone's questions as they go along. Let's see. You guys are so sweet. What did you all do for Halloween? Oh, I'm seeing Omni's comment. Kalina, I'd love to make fairy tales for children for my sphere and our galactic friends as well. That would be amazing. And there's definitely, in my opinion, not enough children's books. A lot of people don't go into that, so I've been looking into creating that as well. I love it. Hey, Spiky. Spiky says, I like poppy seed muffins. What would earth seed and space seed muffins taste like? I'm thinking pumpkin spice and galactic pumpkin spice. Yeah, I like pumpkin spice everything. I actually, when I make my own coffee, you guys know about the pumpkin pie spice? I'll put some of that in my coffee. It's really good. Let's see. Morgan Roundtree says, this might have been sorry, I just think I might have just popped up a private thing. I didn't realize it was a personal. But since it's up there, mostly ancient earth, but also starseed. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I want to talk more about that in an upcoming, because I'm going to be doing some live streams next year on my channel. And that's one of the things I really want to dive right into. What exactly is a starseed? Because everyone has different definitions and ideas. But if you think about it, we are all, literally star season in various different ways, including, what we're made of, just physically alone, I love it. I love the conversations you guys are having between each other. Crystalline mirrors. I like that name. I'd never heard these terms before. I was told once that I hadn't had many Earth lives, and now I wonder. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I was totally surprised too when I found out I didn't have that many Earth lives, but then it also made sense because I used to just question if I was human at all. So I have a feeling a lot of you all listening know what I mean by that. If you guys are holding on to questions and you want to go ahead and start adding them, you certainly can, because I'm reading through and trying to catch any questions that might have been posted. And the way you do that is just write your question in the chat. So if anybody's listening and you're not sure where to go, click on chat. And don't forget to click on the live chat feature. That way you'll be able to see all the comments. Also, to help Rob's algorithms, be sure to hit like. And if you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Okay. I have added your question, Cara. Minga, yeah, the questions can be personal. Just make sure it's something you don't mind that's out in the public, because it is definitely public. But I know a lot of times it's said to share things that benefits the collective, but I find a lot of personal stuff to be very beneficial too, because, there are some very universal themes, especially as humans, that we go through. I don't know if a lot of you all listen to, there's a lot of clips of the Abraham Hicks material. And so it was always amazing to me to hear clips of people having certain situations. And it was like having a kind of camaraderie with people I didn't even know who were going through something that I was amazed that they were going through something so similar. And so I think there are certain themes, even if it's not the same situation, there are things that we can learn from it. It also helps us to expand our compassion and love for each other, and to kind of see what others are going through, because a lot of us are going through lives that can be so different from each other. They still have those certain universal themes of love and just the different emotions that we experience, failing at things, winning at things, you name it. But then we can also have very, very different experiences. Someone who's an Olympic athlete isn't going to understand what it is to be someone who has maybe multiple illnesses and is bedridden. And yet, in the same lifetime, a person can start out as that athlete and end up, in that other situation. And who knows, even learn to heal from all of that. And so the more experiences we derive either within ourselves or by listening to others, I think helps to open up compassion into that. So I know that's kind of a long-winded thing, but that's something I wanted to bring up about personal questions, because I do think that a mixture of collective, like things that would you perceive as maybe beneficial to the collective, is good, but personal questions I think also have a specialness of their own. Oh, Jinger, I've definitely got your question, and my heart goes out to you. I think I see part of the question. I'll look for the second half if there's a second half. I know it doesn't always give you enough space. These questions are beautiful. Love it. Hyper children questions, I love it. Excuse me, I hope you guys aren't wearing headphones. I think you have it. I think I have it, Tat. I think I got your question from the very beginning. It was in two parts. And hopefully when I get two parts with questions, I'll do my best to try to piece those together for you all. Yep, that's the one, Tat. I'm looking at it now. I got both of those. That's awesome, Nadia. Nadia says, I'm excited that one of our local coffee shops will be serving mushroom coffee soon. See, I love coffee, but I love mushrooms as well. And I know that's probably some people like, ew, but they can have very different flavors. And a lot of mushrooms have very, very healing properties. Obviously, some of them don't work so well in the human body, but I've heard some extraordinary healing powers coming from the right types of mushrooms. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Nadia. She said that she loves my show. They are so old. It's so funny too. I'm almost afraid to go back and listen to what I said about even about the reptilians, because I really was a little semi-brainwashed for a while until I really deeply connected. to my truth, which keeps changing, keeps growing, as I should say, rather. I'm going through the questions. Everybody's
Sure.
doing that. I'm looking through all the comments.
While Kalina's doing that too, guys, I forgot one of the announcements. And one of the announcements is, sorry for banging the mic, guys. I had to move it here. One of the announcements for the ET Whisperer, I forgot to let everybody know, is that the time of one-on-one sessions for the ET Whisperer is done. I announced when there was about 15 sessions left to purchase for the year, and within a day and a half, they all got purchased. I let everybody know they were going to be the last of the Q&A, or not last of Q&A, I'm sorry, the last of the ET Whisperer one-on-one sessions. So those are gone. If you don't have one booked or aren't owed a session, then it's not going to happen. But I'm thinking the closer we get to the first of the year when the change starts, because all the sessions we have are booked out to January. The way I think it's going to go is we're going to probably offer 3 email questions for a 10-minute channeling. And that way people can still have their privacy without going into a group session, and can at least, most people have 3 questions that they really find important. So I think that's going to be the way we're going to do it from now on. But as we get closer to that, we'll announce those things. And I also wanted to share this graphic for those of you who didn't know what the name Tyler was when I talked about the event, but might know who Rio is, or Ryoka, Ryo or Ryoka, sorry. And that's from Tyler Ellison, who channels the Essassani representative Ryo, who is now known as Ryoka. So that you can check that out, etwhisper.com. I'm going to take a couple more drinks and a couple breaths, and then we're going to jump into the Q&A. I know Kalina's busy on the stuff. Yeah, the 3-question idea is good, and I actually have to give credit. Kalina and I had talked about that a long time ago, doing like 3 email questions, but our friend Edward O, we'll just put it that way, Edward O for North Dakota, who's been around for a long time. He's become a good friend of mine. He re-suggested that recently, and I think that'll probably end up working well. All right, guys. I'm going to take some drinks, and I'll be there. And yeah, guys, the event that I just flashed up, that's not until the day after the weekend of the Thanksgiving holiday. So it's November 25 and 26, the Saturday and Sunday after Thanksgiving here in the U.S. So I believe that's 25, 26. All right, I'm going to mute down too, so me and Kalina can have a quick meeting about the dynamic of this thing, and then we'll be back in just a second, guys. All right, guys, Kalina's going to go grab some water because I forgot to grab my water. And then once she gets back, we'll jump in, guys. All right. Oh, all right, guys. Yeah, with the 3 email questions and only being 10 minutes, I can knock out 6 or 9 in a night. And because there's not the interaction between everyone doing it live in person, because 1-hour sessions take minimal 2 hours for me to do. And that's why it wasn't always feasible when I can only do sessions 3 or 4 nights in a week. So if I offer, 6 at a time for people who are doing it that way, and they just get a recording after I'm done with it, and write down their 3 questions. So that's the thinking behind that. It makes it easier, more streamlined,
Well, there are
takes
more
up less
people.
time for me, and gets more questions answered for more people at the same time, which is always my desire of leaving the one-on-one. I love people and I love doing one-on-one, but doing 2 hours in one day with one person, they get a lot from that, but all the other people don't get. And if I can only channel X amount of times a week, I want to make sure as many people get questions answered as possible. So that's the thinking behind group sessions and email, 3 email questions for people, and live events and books and all the stuff we're getting ready to do now. All right, are you good? Actually, I need to blow my nose. I can feel that coming. So I'm going to leave you guys with Kalina for a minute.
Okay.
She might not talk with you guys because she's doing the
I'm
question.
trying to get the question. I'm trying to get it to where I can read out the names I got so far. So if anyone got overlooked, because talking and reading is not one of my finest processing categories. So hopefully I didn't sound too just disjointed with you all. But I'm just trying to get, make sure that I get all the questions. I really love when you all are writing an in-caps question. That helps me out so much. So thank you for that. Okay, see. Question revision. Nadia, there you go. I got your revision. And Cara was asking 3 questions for Patreon or as a replacement for one-on-one. I don't know. You might have already gotten into that.
What was? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
3 questions for Patreon or as a replacement for one-on-one?
No, Patreon is going to stay the same, and if we can get more people in Patreon, we're going to do Patreon weekly, which will probably be 2 Q&As, 1 poll, and then 1 extra channeling. Maybe ET from another race might come in and talk for a whole hour, like our weekly Galactics, but an hour's worth. But we need more people at Patreon before we can do that. Patreon will stay the same until it builds, and then we'll add on the days of the week we can. And then the Q&A private sessions, those are the ones that are changing. Those are the ones that the 3 question or group sessions will replace. The 3 email questions or the group sessions will trade place. So,
all right. Well, you get ready to do your thing.
yeah.
Real quick, I'm gonna read out the names of questions I got. Some of you have more than 1 question. We're gonna start with everybody getting 1 question. If we run out of time, well, sometimes we run out of time, but
There's 30
I'm gonna
people
do my
here. There's
best.
no way we're going to get through all the questions for sure.
Well, no, it depends if everybody. I've got well, I'll just go through the names I've got here. I've got Tat, Cara, Nadia, Janger 69. Let's see. I see. You've got revised ones. Let's see. What's a Cara that had them? I'll go through those. I'll figure out. Some of you put the same question twice, but I'll make sure that they're the revised ones. And I think I said Nadia already. Jamie Bailey, Crystalline Mirrors, Mama Minga, Tammy Benham, Violin Girl Blue. Which real quick, Violin Girl Blue. The answer to your question might be copper deficiency. So if it's not, have a backup question, because I would hate for you to ask a question if it's just needing more copper in your or whoever is going through this diet. That's pretty common, copper deficiency.
Yeah, Treb and Aridif have talked about that too before.
Yeah, so have a backup question if you'd like, so that you get a chance for that. Max, Shannon, that's who I have so far. So if you didn't hear your name or your screen name that you go by, please go ahead and send it in the chat right now. And I am in Rob's. I'm talking under Rob's name,
Yeah.
So he's not actually multitasking while channeling.
She is both.
He is technically, but
she is both the Matrix Minds, the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, and
I am,
ET
so
Whisperer.
I will be able to see it from the dashboard because I know some. If you see me under my name, then you know I'm not on the dashboard. But if you see me answering as Rob, then yeah. So feel free to. I'll add it. I'll add it in, and in between, I'll double check and do my best to make sure all the questions are together.
And Julie Camp will also put a new question up too.
Okay. Go back.
It's towards the bottom. The last couple questions. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. We're going to get ready. If Kalina doesn't see your question, because she's got to go through two different areas. One to see the questions that are already there, and then one to look for new ones. So if you have a new question, Kalina may see it, may not see it, but you can always ask in the chat, did you see my new question? Or something like that. But I think we have more than enough questions already. And Kalina will randomize them too, so it's fair to everybody. All right, guys, love you. Have fun. We're going to go. I know we're already like over the time that we would normally.
Is it still the same time you told me to put it out?
Right. Yeah, it is. It's still.
Okay.
Well, 11:50 at this point. So we're going to
Okay.
go for 1 hour for this. That way we can do it. Hey, Mike, we see you over there at the Brainiacs. If you want to ask a question to Trevor Aridif, please feel free, Mike. Ask questions away, and Kalina will get them in the pile of questions. All of our Brainiacs over there at Matrix Minds. All right, guys, have fun. Love you. Love you, Kalina. Thank you for coming to do this tonight. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
It's a great gift to everyone else, too.
Thank you.
So it's not
Look
just
who's
helping
talking.
me, but a good gift to everybody. All right, guys, love you. Have fun. See you on the other side. Here we go.
Love you. And while he's doing that, for those of you coming in just now, feel free to leave a question. If you want to ask Treb or Art a question, just leave it in the chat, and I'll collect it to read later if there's time. And that's in the chat from anywhere where you're watching. We love you too. Celestefon, Joe, Chad, and Julia have your questions added.
Greetings all, this Aridif, that is Aridif, and this is its spell. We understand that all of you have queries for this day, but before diving in to those queries, there are of course the two things that we have always expressed. The first, above and beyond all things that are expressed in this day, to know, to feel, and to perceive that you are loved in our perspective is of the utmost importance. Secondly, it is our greatest excitement, and within that same form of great excitement in which we co-create with you, not only in this moment, but through all moments of your linear time perspective. We also wish to express greetings to Kalina yet again as well.
Greetings, dear Aridif. Thank you so much for you and Treb being here with us tonight.
Yes, of course, it is truly our greatest excitement, and of course, we will take your queries at your leisure.
Thank you so much. All right, we've got quite a few, and I haven't had a chance to read and organize because they're coming in some more. The first question we have is from the Adam Twister, and we all call him Tat, lovingly for short. I'm not sure if you want us to use your real name, so I'll call you Tat. And Tat says, I'm trying to be type 1, but I'm struggling with being type 1 and the human collective. I know that all I need to do is completely trust them as part of me and trust my creatorship to have what I need to do well in life. But I'm resisting it too much and struggling to let go of the beliefs that are creating the resistance. Can you help me? Do you have any tips?
Yes, first of all, what you are desiring in the most great construct of your heart is to integrate into oneness and become that of a type 1 entity. Now, of course, the majority beings that exist in fourth density only achieve that experience once they are at the end of their fourth density journey. In fact, it is the graduating standard of those that are type 1 to integrate into type 1 wholly at the end of fourth density consciousness. Of course, at the beginning of that experience, they are heading towards that expression. Yet in the fifth density is where the consciousness divides from that of a type 1 to that of a type 2, and that of a type 2 holding large spectrum of highly benevolent near type 1 with only a small percentage of their own internal construct of emotion, mentality, psychology being fully integrated, and that one piece removed of their feeling source energy, all of the way to the most disconnected form of consciousness and highly malevolent being. So to do this at the very beginning of fourth density, which is where all of you are at this moment, the threshold and integrative form of fourth density, still expressing that of third density, is an extremely difficult task. Yet you've integrated a great deal of the psychological desire and the psychological components of completing the form of type 1 energy. So of course this places you a great deal further down the evolutionary chain than what most normal humans would, who would desire to be that of type 1. The other component of why it is so difficult for humans at this time, but all beings throughout the universe when first starting their fourth density journey, is that the evolution of multiple lives in fourth density having the opportunity to explore the internal connections to the external world in order to perceive the oneness in which
can exist is done through multitudes of lifetimes and incarnations. You are trying to do this at a very young age in one lifetime. Now, of course, we have shared with you it is possible. There are beings that can experience completeness of type 1, even in third density if desired. But that expression is difficult when you are aiming to co-create that expression in the greater, larger collective consciousness. If your desire truly is to be type 1, instead of that which is trying to achieve type 1, which are where most humans who dedicate their self to oneness are, then what we would suggest is losing that feeling of connection to those things that you do not already perceive as type 1 or part of oneness that exist. Letting go of the mental compartmentalization that occurs within humans that associate oneness and lack of oneness. It is extraordinarily hard for the psychology of a human that says, this person that sits across from where I am this moment is not able to fully understand, feel, experience, express, and co-create with my own consciousness because they are not empathic enough, because they have not experienced what it is that I have, because they have not perceived reality in the lens of reality perception in which I have. This creates the hardship. So stop seeing others as divergent from type 1. Stop seeing others as not type 1 or part of oneness that exists. Yes, you may hear the iteration verbally, which also causes humans resistance when another human says, I have been victimized by this other being and tried to co-create, but they would not allow because they will not allow me. You already feel that separation. So then you must also remove that layer of your empathic nature that takes on the other emotions. And this, of course, is hard because it does not allow the interconnectivity that is required for type 1 beings that feels others' feelings as well. We will not say it is impossible as we have expressed because it is not impossible. But it is an extremely difficult version, what humans refer to as that uphill battle. But if you are truly able to open your heart to all other experiences, even that of the most non-resonant and vile from your perspective, that consciousness that exists must be able to be accepted in order to be a type 1. When we see races that destroy entire planets, we do not hate them. We understand they are indeed a part of our own co-created collective consciousness. But we also perceive that soul-level agreement that occurs when two races go to war, the death that occurs in the entirety of the planet, because those souls no longer wish to co-create from that collective level. But doing this as a human is difficult because it takes away that level of empathy for others as human beings, instead of only perceiving at a soul level. So these are the steps to work towards. In our own perspective, we congratulate you greatly for the attempts, the efforts, and the growth that you already achieved towards that type 1ness. And from our own perspective, even if not completing that in this incarnation, you've gone much further than most in several dozens of incarnations as well. We thank you for this.
Thank you so much, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
Please excuse the coughing. It's always beautiful to hear you speak. All right, so Nadia says, I heard a spirit in a dream speak the word Zion, Skyon 3 times. What significance does that have to do with awakening?
Yes, of course. First of all, the construct of Zion and Scion both are words that trigger the consciousness in humans who hold either a verbal and verbiage awareness of that construct or an energetic process itself. And of course, that word of Zion and Scion both refer to greater realms of consciousness, greater races, evolutions inside of their own construct, or the co-created collaborative form. Some humans perceive Zion as that of a holy land, yet in the construct, in biblical terms, Zion was a community of extra-dimensionals who co-created with humans. In their own perspective, it was quite a deep heaven for them. And of course, the Zion construct, in which humans perceive, holds multiple varieties of energetic expression, some of those that are quite eerie from a human perspective, some that hold great deals of separation, yet those that open the consciousness and explorative nature of others. What we suggest is not so deeply of why it works in a greater level, but why it works for you. Your own guides work with these information, sounds, and vibrations because the utilization of the ion sounds that are expressed at the end of both of these words hold beautiful vibrational frequencies that allow growth and expansion. If you hear the natural sounds of creation, ion is a construct that opens just as similar to Om, and ion brings greater form of the third chakra to the vocal means and creates reality with it. So practice bringing your solar plexus energy through your heart and expansive nature into the throat and express your desires aloud. Ion, ion, ion. I desire to manifest this. I am manifesting this. I will create this. Ion. And continue that practice. This is why your guides bring that information to you and bring relevant co-creative topics and examples for you to perceive as well.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
And thank you, Nadia, for your question. All right. And I hope, and this, it seems like it might have gotten cut off, but I'm not sure. But I think it's enough to get the gist. This one's a little sad. Actually, a lot sad. So Django69 says, my friends with abilities are dropping like flies. One died in April, and another killed herself last week. I'm losing my mind. Am I supposed to learn from this? I'm drowning.
Yes, of course. First of all, the understanding of the nature of co-creation with these entities is vitally important. From their own soul perspective, their energy of work and co-creation was done. And although that does not matter, from the human perspective on the larger level, because it is your lower level consciousness and lower fractal consciousness that is faced to deal with that experience, of course, the energy of co-creation feels very painful for your heart. So in that way, humans express that there is a great loss when the relationship is not expressed, experienced, perceived, or felt in the same way in which one once experienced. But of course, these entities still do exist. Now, this brings you no consolation from the way that you once experienced them, nor will it be an instant understanding of your mind. Yes, I understand they still exist, so now it is okay for me. You must go through that grieving process, which we understand for the human expression is tremendously difficult as a part of the openness that you create with your heart as it pertains to connecting with other humans. So the first thing that we share with you is feel the expression of your heart. You understand and know that there's pain there. Why does that pain exist? It is not only because that relationship is not viable or experienceable in the way that it once was, but what motivation, growth, expansion came from that relationship in your co-creation. Allow yourself to process that energy as greatly as you are able and understand those souls required from their own perspective to go back into source and start something new. What they left to all of the other humans was exactly what they came into that incarnation to do. Understand, as far as the self-forwarded fear goes, about your own mortality, your own allowance of living, co-creating and incarnating in Earth. You are fine in this moment to continue to exist, and although you feel overwhelmed, and although these words will feel different in 1 month from this moment and 1 year from this moment, in this moment, know that you are loved. And not only are you loved, we love you as well. And when we express that we are speaking of Treb Bor Yit-Ne, myself, the entire collectives of both of our races, Rob and Kalina, and all of the entities who are co-creating in this very moment and in the linear future. All of the entities that co-create are either directly and mentally sharing that vibration of love with you, but also the energy underneath of their own higher fractal consciousness and guides that work with them as well, and all of the several dozens of guides that are with you in this moment truly are giving that same love. So if there's nothing that can be done in this moment to allow the release of that feeling, then simply accept the love that is given all around you from all over the universe to the entities that you perceive hold value to your mind and heart as well. And of course, we thank you for this.
I also wanted to add lots of, we send you our love. I know that pretty much everyone here listening is sending you lots of love, and a lot of us can also relate to what you're experiencing. There are a lot of people leaving the planet, but there are a lot of people that are moving and stepping forward into, their true path, and that can include those that are leaving us. It just may be that they're not going to continue it in their bodies. And that's not an encouragement by any means to anybody that I'm saying that we're all being positioned where we're meant to be. Would you agree, Aridif?
Yes, of course.
But we send you all of our love. I hope you feel a lot of deep healing from this soon. Next question we have is coming from Kara. And Kara says, how many hybrid children do I have? What race are they? And can you tell me at least one of their names? And if there's anything they'd like me to know, thank you. I know it's technically a lot of questions, but they're kind of together. So
yes, of course, there are over 5 entities, 5 that we are able to perceive that are directly connected to you. And those 5 all come from the same hybridization program in a greater sense. 3 of them are from the Yel, 1 of them are from the Ployel, and 1 of them are from the Gaia. Now, of course, they are spread throughout ages, time, but they are not expressing and experiencing time in the same form and linear fashion that you yourself are. 1 of the entities themselves is at the age approximately of 6 years old. The entity is a masculine being who is hybridized from your DNA to other humans' DNAs, and of course the consciousness of those that are within that hybridized program from the parenting race. This entity's name is Dayton, and this consciousness holds the vibratory tones of its endearment and monitoring yourself as well. These entities have co-created with you in the sleep state region and have co-created with you upon higher levels of vibrational frequency. Now, the other beings that exist outside of this, we are able to see genetic forms of co-creation with other races, but these entities are not expressing a desire to open that dialogue of understanding at all. So in that way, your higher self does not show us that rest of the information in how or why those entities are co-creating with you as well.
Sorry for the background noise. I had to check on Lily. She was moving around.
Yes, of course.
Lily's our daughter. She's a 4-year-old and she has insomnia, so I was checking up on her. All right. Let's see. And by ours, I mean Rob and me, not Aridif and me. All right. Let's see. Okay. So our next question comes from Jamie, and there's a second half to her question, so I gotta, let's see. Oh, 1 second. There's a couple variations of it. There we go. Okay. So Jamie says, and I'll pop this up for you guys to see. During a meditation to meet guides, to my surprise, a reptilian came forward as a main guide named Yornak. What can you tell me about him? He wore a loose black hood, and does he have anything he wants to say to me?
Yes, of course. This entity co-creates with you outside of the earthly realm of reptilian co-creation, outside of the standard reptilian co-created form. This entity comes from a race of beings that exist inside of the Capricornius constellation, approximately 12,000 light years in that direction, and this entity comes from a very obscure race of reptilian beings. In fact, there are only several dozen of members of this entity's race that even hold an awareness of what humans are, and due to the nature of the possible and probable future journeys out into your greater experience of the galaxy, those linear timelines are what co-create an understanding several thousand years in your linear future, and because they are not held within that linear fashion of time, they are able to go back into that time and perceive other humans that may have soul group connections. And of course, this entity is one of these beings. Now, of course, this entity desires first just for you to understand and know one another. Secondly, to help assist open the energy of your psychic networking and awareness so that you are able to work together, and then desires to share with you a great deal about their race altogether. Now, because humans hold no awareness of this race and have never directly co-created in the fashion that you have, or been given an identity, location, time frame, or density and physical description of these entities, it would allow you to open up the field of co-creation and collaboration with this race if you desire. So what this entity shares through your higher self is that if your desire to co-create and connect is there, simply open that tool of how your own emotional reaction in the moment of first co-creating with one another exists, and place that as a central co-creative sphere of energy around both yourself and this entity. And by doing this, it allows you a greater field of receptivity for that co-creation to happen, occur, continue, and foster itself with new vibratorial relationship with that entity as well. We thank you for this.
Thank you. And I would like to have a tech check if you guys can let me know if you can hear this okay, because it looked like the internet might have been slowing down on our side. Could have just been my computer glitching out too. And I also wanted to thank Aaron Carter so much for the super sticker. We really, really appreciate that. It helps a lot. Okay, I'm going to pull up the next question. Okay. I'm just double checking that it wasn't written twice because we had some updates. Okay, so Crystal and Mirrors has a question also about hybrid children. And I'll go ahead and show that for you guys. From what I hear about the hybrid children, they aren't going to need parenting in the way we think of it. What then are our roles of parents of our hybrid children and my personal role? It's a great question.
Yes, of course. First of all, it is greatly dependent upon what race, variety, or type of hybridization program you've been a part of. Many humans are aware of those that are Yel, Yael, Ployel, Gauyel, etc. But few humans understand and know that there are multitudes of races that work in collaboration with human DNA for the co-creation of hybridization. And these occur so frequently with humans for two reasons. First, you have that which is multi-dimensional DNA. Now, of course, all races hold some level of multi-dimensionality within their cells, but are not multi-dimensional in their DNA. Humans have expressed that physical attributes of the predecessors who shared or manipulated the DNA inside of you during the history of your evolution, meaning that races that existed in fourth density shared their DNA, races that existed in fifth density shared their DNA, races that exist in sixth density shared their DNA with humans. Now humans have that DNA bridge to all attributes and aspects of their own DNA. So, of course, having this as well as 12 independent races, DNA inside of you through 6 iterations, that co-creation is extraordinarily different from the attribute of your consciousness that vibrates and frequency of your auric field and the attribute in which that may exist. Some humans understand and perceive that they have Syrian connection. Others perceive their Alpha Draconian connection. Others perceive their Arcturian form of connection. And that is because those DNAs are in you. So with that understood, regardless of what the purpose is for the hybridization program, your own responsibility is simply to exist as a human being. Now, pending upon what race is co-creating that program with you, what the desired outcome for the co-creation of that race with you for their DNA is, by simply expressing your human consciousness with an open understanding, an open heart, an open mind, you are teaching vibrationally through your DNA to those children. Just as your parents affected you as young children simply by being who they were, both for negative or positive consequence. You are doing the same for those children because you lived with your own parents. They vibrationally taught you through the physical aspect of your body, memory, mind, and all forms of that physical interactive relation. But in the vibration of your DNA, it is an antenna that sends that signal out to the rest of the world. But when you have those that are related directly to you, as a child or spawn of yourself. They are receiving the highest level of that frequency. So, of course, being yourself is perfect. Now, with your specific case, as a human being whose specific children work in the hybridization program that is quite normal for the human collective in their understanding of grey and human hybrids, what these children are doing is watching your every step, watching the moments and how you are being human. It is correct. If these beings existed by moving to Earth and living with humans, they would not require a parent, but they would require teachers. Teachers of what it is to be human, teachers of why humans feel the way that they do, experiencing teachers of the simple customs and understanding of ethics upon Earth. That is what those that are in the Yol Yel Plo Yel Gol Yel Sasani co-created hybridization programs are doing to teach your children as well. We thank you for this.
Thank you so much. Our next question comes from the lovely Mama Minga, and she says, I would like to know if I have ever been abducted or if I've ever had any contact with another being or energy.
Yes, of course. Now, in the construct of if you have had contact of another being or co-creation, yes, several hundreds of times. If you are speaking in a dream state, several tens of thousands of times. In your own physical body, there have been other humans that have co-created with you upon the experience of co-creation. Many humans understand this as interactions with ghosts or spirits. There have also been other interactions with ships, either visible to you or not visible to you, where your own higher self and theirs were working together in order to co-create a greater opening of your energetic field, even when you are not knowing that they are there to co-create with you the vibrational frequency of their physical ship, even if only manifest in avatar form or in their higher dimensional form. You would not be able to perceive, but you would in fact feel the proximity of their vibration to you, the moments where you have said, and no thought led to a specific feeling, no thought led to a specific thought. You only experience a feeling or emotion jumping out into your consciousness and being startled, surprised, or happy that this occurred. This can be direct co-creation of just the proximity of their vibration with yours, because you've co-created before, because you know them on a soul level, and because their vibration is perfectly fitting as a key into a lock inside of your frequency field.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
I'm going through all these questions. So
Yes, of course, we understand.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask this. This was from Violin Girl Blue, and what is the spiritual significance of gray hair at the young age?
Yes, of course. Now, in this construct, the reason for the spiritual significance is different for every human that co-creates. In the experience that you are perceiving, that hair which is grey represents dignity, wisdom, and greater sense of knowledge. Because humans correlate mentally grey hair with those of older and elder humans, it also is there to signify wisdom in younger children who hold grey hair, to young adults that hold grey hair as well. We understand it is extremely rare, but there are children as young as 12, 13, 15 that hold grey hair. silver or white hair. And the reason why they are doing so is they are trying to show externally what is manifest internally, that these souls are masters, for lack of better terms, that these souls hold a great sea of wisdom as an earth human in the earthly perspective. So by understanding and knowing, for many humans who use that in the representative way of showing the greater wisdom of previous incarnations, this is one that holds most near to your own experience and expression of those around you. Now, of course, other humans express for different reasons. Some humans express that through their body as trauma. Having those that say going grey early, we understand all of you have heard that term. All these experiences have caused grey hairs. It is also showing humans in certain expansions and expressions of that terms through their own hairs going grey. They are simply manifesting either the belief itself that turns the hairs grey through difficult times, or to simply show to the rest of the world, I am not having an easy life. Many humans who manifest it in this way desire help from others, but cannot verbalize that help. The expression of that grey hairs to simply show by looking. It is not appropriate to hassle or harass me. I go through enough as it is. Or, please, help. I cannot find a way to make my life easier, so it is there to show all who are willing, kind, and empathic enough to receive that energy. Now, there are quite literally tens of thousands of more reasons, but these are the two most common in human expressions.
Thank you, Aridif.
Yes, of course.
That's fascinating. And I had missed that part of the question, the spiritual nuance. Well, immediately my head jumped to copper, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. All right.
Yes, that is the physical
Exactly.
manifestation for that in one of the majority ways of humans, grey hair, yes.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. All right. So our next question comes from Shannon, who says, is there a better permanent placement for my niece? We took her in, but it's not working for many reasons, and I don't know how to best support her.
Yes, of course. Now, first of all, we understand the dynamic of this energy. And of course, we can share that perspective from multiple angles. First, the angle of co-creation and desire from this entity to yourself. Secondly, from yourself to the entity. Thirdly, from the partner to the entity. Fourth, with that person's mother and your co-creation, as well as a societal greater form of collective. But in simple terms, following your own heart is most important. Now, of course, the separation of yourself from this entity will create forms of trauma within both of you. Trauma with yourself because I wished I could have figured out how to work through this. I wished that we were able to complete this experience. I wish I was able to support this person in which I love in the way that I desired initially. And of course, in the other, for feeling that without a parental figure or without a family figure at the helm, that family has left me to go upon my own. Both of these will create forms of trauma, but with not working out, if that level of trauma is higher in both of you compared to that level of trauma that will occur, then of course, energetically, the co-creation must occur in the way that your own mind and heart perceive in the greatest fashion. So we will share with you the construct of working towards finding others who are genetically related will do a great deal for this entity's development, if it is possible. If no other humans who hold genetic sharing with this human are capable of co-creating, finding other humans who hold a responsible aspect of their own consciousness and also a part of their internal heart is open and you know them to be a good, open, loving person, then work through this way. If it comes to the co-creation of working through foster cares or public homing, for that lack of a better term to call it, from Rob's own vocabulary or understanding of these dynamics, this can create a further energetic disconnect for this entity. In our own perspective, reading the co-creational dynamic, it would be better to directly place this person into a person's home in which either you know, trust, or perceive in a direct manner with your own level of empathic nature and own emotional structure, that her experience will be better there. Because if it is not, it only confirms that old expression from her own mind, that family cannot or will not look out for me in the way I need to be looked out for, and not only cause resentment, which is not within your own sphere of creation directly, but still holds a co-creation effect for you as well. So in that term, this would be the greater of two paths to take by working to find a placement yourself as directly as possible, and if family is not available, someone trusted. The third and last option, of course, is to create a form of that fostering system and follow through by assuring that this entity is placed in the greatest care possible from your own demands upon that department as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Another very, and you may or may not be able to answer this. I don't know how much permission is given with this, but
Yes.
this question comes from Julie. And Julie says, why are so many bad things happening to my boyfriend, like loss of job and a major car accident, legal stuff, etc.? It's been happening to a lot of people.
Yes, of course. First of all, as Kalina had pointed, there isn't ever the permission that is required to go deeply into that entity's consciousness, but there is enough of that part of co-creating with you and you perceiving that dynamic for us to tell you multiple things. First of all, this entity requires a reset of experience. There are multiple components in this person's life that are not making them happy, satiated, or excited to live in life. And when that occurs, then the higher self will work with the human being to push all of those experiences into a frame and mindset that the human being can recognize as this is not working for me in this way well. Secondly, as the co-creation of this person, they hold a great deal of trauma inside of their solar plexus and heart. Those must be healed by this person. These objects that are occurring, these, for lack of better terms, hurdles that continue to occur in this person's life are only there to push them towards that healing and push them towards decision making for all of those things that are not feeling good in their experience. Now we understand there's more dynamics of that than what are created initially with that construct, but these are the ones that are most important to deal with first. What we can do is share with you a tool that we have shared with all humans, one that both Rob, Kalina, Treb Bor Yit-Ne, and myself have co-created with the human collective to help them find multiple belief systems within themselves that do not resonate with the greater scale and desire and path of that human being and hold resistance simply in the belief itself. And once identifying and finding that greater belief, then psychology can be rebuilt by that person in order to experience and co-create a greater new pathway. And that is called the 10-step belief system process. And by utilizing this tool, the consciousness of yourself and the entity that you are with can start working to experience a greater opening of understanding of self-implemented co-creations that become harmful or do not feel good or add resistance and difficulty in the life that is already hard enough to begin, as all of you are in that greater master school of the earth, which you are born into, a very heavy spectral vibration. So working with this 10-step process will significantly help open that energy that is required to be healed internally as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Okay, let me get back into. I know we're getting closer to time. Karks had a question for you. When channeled beings tell us to be, what is the difference with us being how we are before we apply be?
Yes, now in this term, what we understand, the construct of what being is, comparative to the experience of be. Is this the correct interpretation from your own perspective in the way that vibrationally was given? And this is your query to you, Cleo.
Sorry, I was just amazed at what you did.
Yes,
it was supposed to put up the 10 steps, but it had been taken down from the website. So I was like, where do I find that again? And then Aridif just put it up there without even. I don't know why I'm surprised, but it's so cool whenever I see that. Okay.
Yes, of course.
You need me to reread the question?
If you're able to read or give context in which your perspective is, because there are two ways to interpret the wording of this query. You may read it again if you desire.
When channeled beings tell us to be, just to be, what is the difference with us being how we are before we apply be, like the be that the guides are talking about?
Yes, we understand more clearly now.
Yes.
In the context of beings expressing to humans to simply be what they mean, I'll be the you that you are. They do not mean simply experience earth without care, whim, or expression. Now, many humans work from that level of being their selves, but doing so through multiple layers of filters, multiple expressions of mask, multiple layers of shadows that are in addition to their own internal and external consciousness. When we have expressed that simply being yourself at the greatest level of you that you are able, we do not mean to be a nice and happy person. We do not mean to smile and just be positive. What we mean is experience yourself in the now moment. Experience yourself with a true understanding and honest interaction with your true self. What we mean is by being aware of your own belief systems, being aware of the psychology and thoughts that you are pouring into the system of beliefs that you hold, by acting upon the levels of excitement that you receive. That is truly being. What humans do by existing is not truly being. What they are doing is trying. But trying and being are two different things. When you are trying to make yourself happy. You are trying to fit in. You are trying to manifest. You are trying to do A and B and C. But by being, you are simply acknowledging the presence of yourself in every moment. You are acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses. You are acknowledging the beliefs that give you strength and the beliefs that give you resistance. You are not projecting yourself so far into the past and telling yourself a story about what created you. There are multitudinous forms of stories that we have heard from humans through the collective times that express the only reason that I have a difficult time in this moment is I was abused as a child, that I was called names by teachers. Last week, someone told me I was ugly and I've not been the same since. Yes, these are traumas. Yes, these are experiences of co-creation. Yes, they are in fact a part of your Earth experience. But you have let those past experiences be a part of your now moment. By being, you are simply being. You are not telling or trying to be. This is the same with your linear future expressions. I cannot believe that it is only 1 month until I must pay this large bill. Oh my God, all of the things that I am doing will cause harm, hardships. I can never make it. I will fail. So what you've done is in that very moment, you try to manifest something in the future by creating nothing but hardships of thought, emotion, and resistance towards. But if you are being who know, yes, there's something that lies ahead, what excites me in this moment to act upon so that I can fulfill this future thing? By approaching your now moment, by allowing yourself to be yourself, to act upon those excitements, this is the being that we are speaking of. Not simply experiencing Earth and not formulating the construct of internal diagnosis in every moment, but truly experiencing being by being yourself.
Do you have time for one more? Because I accidentally skipped over someone who had a very passionate question for you.
Yes, of course.
And I think you'll probably be able to answer it pretty.
Yes.
Because you're Aridif. So Damlet says, should we embrace the technological singularity? Is like heaven, New Jerusalem, or a creepy Borg hive mind mothership, or what? What is it?
Yes, first of all, the singularity is a construct of understanding probabilities. What one human perceives as that singularity is not what another human will be. So if there's not an experience that one has already had, all there are fields of probabilities. Imagine yourself 1,000 years previous and tell that person that they will be able to see and speak to a person across the world, and that is all you tell them. Imagine the infinite versions of possibilities that these humans create in their minds to try to imagine that which is unimaginable to them. Singularity expressed is different in every means. Some forms would take technological means, all humans plugging their selves consciously into a greater collective, such as your internet collective, but in much larger terms, placing all of your consciousness in that and allowing to feel the outcome of the amalgamative form. Others may be that experience where you transcend the human body itself and simply go back into oneness, and that can occur by a meteorite taking out the entirety of the population of Earth. And this can still be a singularity. The construct of oneness comes in multiple manifestational probabilities. The fear that humans hold towards the disastrous forms of losing oneself will never occur if humans continue to evolve, understanding that they have oneness about them already. Yet in that oneness, you can remain the fractal of consciousness that you are. Humans express that individuality may be egoic in nature, yet we ourselves still have our own ego, even as sixth density consciousness. We did not manifest the ability to simply remove our ego. What our ego was as an animal was to protect ourselves. What it was in third density was to protect our sense of self. In fourth density, to protect our heart. in fifth density to protect our knowledge. But from the fourth and fifth density, it transmuted. Instead of perceiving my own consciousness as one Denebian being plugged into a hive mind of Denebian beings, what I am is the one entity that is individual, that is known as Aridif, and is one small component of a larger picture of Denebians, and I am able to feel all of them. I am able to perceive all of them. I am able to be a part with all of them, and yet I still hold my own perspective, and that is what once was the ego. That part allows oneness and individuality as well.
Thank you, Aridif, so much. Also,
Yes,
real
of
quick,
course.
thank you, Aaron Carter, for sending the super sticker. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much for your support.
We have time for 1 to 2 queries remaining.
Oh, wonderful. That's awesome. Okay. Let me get these questions back out. Okay. So, Joe Grace has a question. Does the Jewish Hebrew Collective have a particular mission or purpose on Earth? If yes, can you expand?
Yes, first of all, the energy of that collective is simply an archetypal form of consciousness, as all beings are. Now, the energy of that consciousness holds no more a plan than a human being holds a plan. And of course, just as an entire region, consciousness, identity of ethnicity, all of these things have played roles. Now, in your human collective, you are perceiving that role, just as within the Nazi collective form, the energy of their own consciousness took to play great stage of oppressive nature and work with others. The Israel form chose to be that of a divided construct, for some humans to perceive them as worthy, peaceful, and religious, and others to vilify. They chose to be able to be perceived as both in a greater collective sense. The same that occurs with the United States region, being perceived as a great superpower, protector of all tyrants that are greedy. Now, the entirety of the Israel construct, we are speaking of the country and not the ethnicity. Of that is at a much different role. The ethnicity of Israel, or that of Jews, is the construct of working to open their own consciousness through an identity of religion and the persecution of that religion. The construct holds duality, as all do within the Earth collective consciousness. Half of the world that perceive that layer of these beings being oppressed greatly and going through a great deal of suffering, others perceiving them as religious zealots that try to create religion upon themselves. So it is a fundamental component of a greater collective co-creation. Now, the reason why it affects so many humans in this moment is that they are already perceiving the dynamic of what is occurring in that area that is Palestine and Israel in this moment, and want to understand who to hold the most sympathy for, either Israeli beings or Palestinian beings. Our own perspective shows that this is simply the act of humans acclimating in reactivity to what they are perceiving within the collective news format. But as all of you understand, the construct of war only occurs because the perception of division is so great within Earth collective consciousness. And from that energy, sending that love to both parties, sending love to those who are going through trauma upon both sides, will help start to heal that vision or division within that energy. Now, of course, until the entire collective goes on board with that energy, or for a greater percentage of the collective to go on board with not desiring more, it will continue, of course, and we'll take your final query.
All right. And I think I can pronounce this name. This comes from CJ Xantham. Can you provide insight on 4D, 5D energetic relationships with soulmates before manifesting a 3D relationship? In one now at the 4D, 5D level, 3D coming soon. Interesting so far. Thank you.
Yes, first of all, we will express that in the style of relationship that we are meaning are exchanging in a co-creative form. We spoke a great deal about this when we spoke with Rob about healing sexuality, the construct of relationships in romantic nature and relationships in friendship nature, quite deeply different dynamics, but both are created from the same layer and vein of energy. That is the extensive amount of love that humans feel from higher dimensional beings once it enters the heart chakra region, or once it goes through the solar plexus region and starts healing some of the traumas there. And for many humans who allow energy to flow through the entirety of their chakra system, where energy becomes stuck, is most apt to work in that region. This is why humans have sexual feelings towards higher dimensional beings when they have gone through a great deal of sexual traumas previously, and the energy goes into their second chakra. Now, the higher dimensional being in many terms may hold different belief systems, different orientations. Many entities that exist in higher dimensionality hold no physical sexuality, yet the co-creation between the being and the human may be manifest simply from the human mind, and the higher dimensional being accepts love and gives love for the human to accept and create in the way that they desire. Yet other beings may hold sexuality and co-create from a level and layer of their own energetic properties. So in that way, that form of relationship mostly takes on the accounting of the energy of the human who needs or requires an experience, and that higher dimensional being fulfills. Now, often the fulfillment is not in a direct fashion. It is more so in the manifestation from that human perspective in the way that they desire for that co-creation. But there can be times in which is opposite, which simply two entities are co-creating at a higher level of soul consciousness and interactivity, and then co-creation of sexual feelings or visualizations occur. Now, when you are speaking of relationships that occur through friendship, the same occurs. What do you need a friend for? What do you require a relationship with a friend for? How can you feel such great amounts of love that come from the higher dimensionality, and what do you need to use it for in your experience? And of course, that manifests outwardly in the way that humans need that in their co-creation majoritively. And of course, there are beings who may befriend you, who without your own understanding are type 2 beings and highly malevolent. Now, these beings do not mean that they cannot foster love or cannot foster relationships with you, because of course these beings love. It is simply a different version of love than you perceive. But in that co-creation, there can be direct sexuality on high levels from these beings who are more oriented into the lower chakras of their own body. Now, we understand many humans perceive if there are beings who are higher dimensionality, they cannot feel what humans feel. They cannot feel sexuality or go through the lower chakras. They must be in their higher chakras, and that is not true, because the feeling of their body in the chakra system that they are in can go through all of their chakras. And if you experience being in sixth density and they are in their root chakra, you will still feel it etherically in yourself, because it is much higher in vibrational frequency in the form of density or dimensionality than your own consciousness can even achieve, unless you have learned to tap into that sixth density version of your consciousness and utilize a physical manifest property or avatar of that consciousness in sixth density. And if that occurs, then you are experiencing those entities in the most direct way possible. Most humans cannot. So it is assumed that the energy that most co-create from that level will be the experience of those entities working with you in the ways that they can, or that both of your excitements take you to as well. We wish to express to all of you that during the time of co-creating with each and every one of you, we were able to perceive parts of yourselves individually that we have never perceived previous because of your new queries, because of your new energy as we co-created with you. And collectively, you are a different group of collective energies that we have co-created with previous. This means that we are able to perceive those parts of your collective as well that we have never perceived previous. And because all of us are one, this means we are able to perceive parts of our own consciousness in singular and collective form that we have never perceived previous. This means that you are growing through our interaction, and we are growing through our interaction as well. We congratulate all of you for your growth, and of course we thank you for ours as well. We also wish to thank you, Kalina, in the co-creation. As always, it is of our greatest excitement as well.
It's my pleasure, and thank you so much to you and to Treb, who I know is also there.
Yes, of course. And of course, we will bid you all adieu for this day.
Absolutely.
And
We love
remember, not only are you loved, but we love you as well.
Yes, you are loved, and we love you too, Aridif.
Yes,
Thank you
of
so
course.
much for spending time with us tonight.
Yes, of course, it is truly our greatest excitement, and we will bid you all adieu for this day.
Adieu.
Adieu.
Welcome back. Hi. How you
Hey.
doing?
All right, how'd it go?
It went really great. Got a lot of questions asked. Not everybody, but
Nice.
I'm hoping that we can do more of these. Not to pressure you, but I do really enjoy.
Oh,
I missed the free open forums, and I think this is a great
yeah.
place
Well,
to do it.
me and Tyler are actually going to be Friday. We're going to be channeling live for everybody Friday
Oh, nice.
for free
And where is that again?
on YouTube. We're going to do a live stream Friday.
You're going to be both channeling from your respective channels, or?
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
no. I don't know. We still haven't figured that out yet. But we're going to at least be doing my channel and re-upload to his. But we'll be
Okay.
live streaming from my channel and possibly his too. We're going to try to. And that's going to be me and Tyler Ellison. He's going to channel Ryoka.
Friday at what time again?
I want to say 7 or so. I've got a daytime
Eastern?
session
Okay.
Friday. So it's going to be a little later, like 6 or 7 Eastern, yeah.
Well, I
and
know
we're gonna
that
channel.
Rob will put it on Facebook, so check.
Yeah,
on
I'm gonna put on
Facebook.
Facebook, and it'll
your
be live here.
website.
If you're on YouTube, if you're subscribed to my channel, you should see it. But yeah, any social media I get, I'm gonna share.
It's a bad time to ask you when you're just coming back.
We're gonna channel. We're gonna channel oppositely. So he's gonna channel, and then I'm gonna channel, or I'm gonna channel, and he's gonna channel. And whoever's not channeling will be asking the questions from the chat from you guys. So join us Friday. It'll be great. And we're going to talk about the event a little bit too that we're doing together, and stuff like that too. But we both are going to be together channeling. If you haven't heard him channel, you go back to our Patreon. We made that public. It was a Patreon duo channeling. If you just type in Rob Gauthier or Tyler Ellison, you'll see it. But yeah, he'll be on Friday too. All right, guys, I hate to do it. We are way over our time, like 30 minutes over our time frame. It's really good, though. I knew that we were running behind because I was yabbing, and Kalina and me were having fun with you guys. But I've got to go. Be here next week. Georgia Jean will be here with us as a guest on the Enlightenment Evolution Hour. The week after that, we're going to have Jamie Price, who is an amazing channeler of light language, and then we'll go from there, guys. Holy moly, donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for the donation.
Aww. That's the third donation.
Is it? Holy moly. Well, I was just looking back to see that. Thank you guys. Oh, wow. Yeah. And everyone who donated, we really, really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot. We really do appreciate all of you guys doing it. Thank you. Oh, look, Gomar. I didn't even see it was him until I took it off. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that, Gomar. I didn't see that super chat.
Oh, so there's another one then. Oh,
so I sometimes miss things when I'm trying to multitask and stuff.
Holy moly. Yeah, there are more. Holy crap. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for anyone who donated. We really appreciate that. We really, really do. And yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna quit looking for the ones that are donated right now. I just appreciate everybody who did donate, and I really love you guys. We'll see you guys next week on the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, and we'll see you this Friday with Tyler.
And that one's free, right?
That one's free, yeah. The Friday
so don't
one.
Miss that.
It's just going to be like it was tonight, except for both of us channeling. We're going to take Q&A from the chat.
He recently interviewed Tyler Ellison, right? That's his last name, Ellison.
Yeah.
And he's a great channel. He was channeling on there too, if I recall correctly.
Maybe, yeah. It's hard to say, but yeah, he's channel. Actually, before we go, guys, I'm gonna.
I think he did.
I'm gonna put the link for the last channel.
Yeah, so if you want to check that out, but it's gonna be really, really fun. I know hearing both of them.
Right here, co-host Tyler Ellison. This is the one that we did 2 months ago.
Make sure it doesn't start in the middle.
Well, yeah, I'm taking it off the time frame. Okay. Yeah, so here you guys go. In the chat, I'm putting it down right now. That's with me and Tyler.
Yep.
And this is, I'm going to put it up on the screen too, so you guys.
And don't forget to go over to I want to say Herbie. I'm blanking. My mind's not working because we haven't gotten a lot of sleep this week, and I don't work too well without sleep and coffee.
Yeah. Go to Out There Talk with Valiant himself. His show's on Instagram Live right now.
He's on right
now. Right now. Let me find that link to you real quick, guys. Instagram Out There Talk right here. So if you go to Instagram hashtag or ampersand at, if you go to Instagram at this. Out There Talk, all one word, all hooked together. If you go there, you can go to his show right now. That
reminded me of my social media disaster once when everybody was using hashtag in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And I went and I was an older college student. And now this was like, what was this? Maybe 12, 13, whatever it was, how many years ago. And I had this internship and it involved social media.
Right.
And so he was having me read out some stuff for him.
Right.
And I was like reading out. I said, and pound such and such. He's like, what? Pound such and such. He's like, where does it say pound on it? I'm like, it's got the pound sign. He's like, that's hashtag. I'm like, what?
Hashtag is a new word, everybody.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? When did it become hashtag? That's a pound sign. Yeah. He's like, well, not anymore. It's not his hashtag. I'm like,
when we were doing,
I'm like, but pound is so much easier to say than hashtag.
Right. Well, not just that. When we would dial the phones, it would say, dial pound
69,
and then that would be the hashtag. So
nowadays, can you imagine the kids would be like, if they dial pound blah blah blah, they'd be like,
pound? What? How am I going to pound it? there are some places that do still say hit the pound button when you're done with the recording. Yeah,
Yeah, they're probably like, what
the
is
hell?
that?
What the pound doing?
Hashtag.
Yeah. That's
So-
such a crazy thing. Yeah.
And in case you guys are wondering, how come I'm turning 45 in January? So go gentle on me.
Yeah. Well, we got to start doing that. Be like, pound this, pound that, pound, ET Whisperer, pound Aridif, pound what? And they're like, what the hell?
Kevin
And then we
sounds
show
dirty
it on the screen,
though.
yeah. It does. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the old sexual connotation there. Yeah. Well, I thought they're either going to want to beat us up or have sex with us. Yeah, that's bad. All right.
We used to bump
let's
fists
keep
and
that.
go.
Oh, pound it. Yeah, pound it.
Pound
in.
it.
Boom.
But that's where you like bump the two fists. It's not a sexual thing, but
Right. That's a good one. All right, guys. We're done. Also,
we just leave it on an awkward note. That's how we do.
we're actually gonna do a Discord birthday. It was the Discord second year birthday like a week and a half ago. So eventually we're gonna do a birthday Q&A just for our Discord people too, because they've been hanging in there, and I haven't had much time to go there as much as I wanted. So we're gonna do that too. But that's another time, another story. Love you guys.
Love you
Follow
all.
any of our social media, and you'll get cues of what's going on. But if you follow our YouTube, you'll know every time we upload a video. Love you guys. Have fun. We'll see you next week on the Enlightenment Evolution Hour, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. We'll see you guys there on the other side. Love you guys.
Love you all.
Bye.